And we're live. Sweet. Okay. All right. So we have a few people here. Cruise Pulse is pretty early, it looks like. It says, oh boy, I'm here early. So today we're going to be talking about the few things that we're going to kind of see in the future of cruising, kind of what our thoughts are on the future of cruising in the next couple months, I guess, and whether or not we see what cruising is going to look like and if it's even going to happen here in 2020. So we should see pretty soon. Again, we had a lot of announcements earlier this week, and it seems pretty promising. And of course, we do have Justin this week. Hello, Justin.
Hello.
Looks like
I
you're
made
a little
it.
frozen, but that's okay. So yeah, what are your thoughts on all these new protocols and everything else that's going on right now? Yeah, is it something you actually be willing to do? Would you wear a mask on a cruise?
Oh yeah. At this point, being deprived since March, thing
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
that
Right.
I don't really think it'd be a big deal, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting the opportunity to cruise by the end of the year because I need it.
Right, for sure. And that's I think part of the thing going towards it all is that, um that people are starting to get used to the masks. They're starting to get used to just this way of life. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh,
going
past
along
my
with it, and
bedtime.
you know, it's just the new normal, at least for now.
Yeah, and it's going to be like this for quite a while.
Yeah,
So
I'd give it probably at least a
if you're
year
not,
or
if
so, but
yeah, so if you haven't gotten used to it yet, I would probably get used to it because it's going to be a while.
right. Is it? If anybody's in the chat here, let us know if this is lagging, because it looks like it in our end. Um, but yeah, and then so kind of a few things, and my live stream last week was kind of based around this and the future of cruising, but I think with everything that was announced this week, it kind of needs to be added on to what I talked about last week, especially
Hmm.
because there's so many more things that are being added to it. I think it's a very good a good sign that there's actually a plan in place, rather than us just kind of hanging out and just being like, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, seriously, there's been a lot of moves recently that give you the impression that we're going to start sailing. I mean, it's definitely better than just
Right.
sitting around. So seeing the cruise lines come out with all this health protocols, safety protocols, all this different stuff,
Right. And I
it's
think,
promising.
like everybody else has pretty much said, is that it's up to the CDC at this point. Hopefully that it's
Yeah,
hopefully they can approve it. We've got until, well, now we have until the 30th, until the no sale order is
yeah. And I saw
expiring.
someone post on Facebook that since it does expire on the 30th, they said the every other time that the CDC has extended the no sale policy, they've done it the Thursday prior, and they
Right.
haven't done that yet.
I've noticed
Not to
that.
say that's a sign that they're not going to, but I did see that someone
I
posted
think
it.
just the way that the CDC's kind of been treating us, it wouldn't really be surprising if they just kind of threw it out of nowhere, on the very last day. But at the same time, we can always hope for the
Yeah,
best. Um,
yeah, and the cruise lines and the ports have really been going at the CDC, telling them that it's time to let them start sailing.
right.
I know the port of Miami just announced something that said, like, look, you need to start cruising again because just alone, like Florida economy is getting hurt by it
Right.
because we have hundreds of ships that sail out of Florida,
Right.
and that hurts the tourism industry here.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest things. And again, Port of Miami kind of laid down a hammer on them, on the CDC, and just
Yeah,
everybody that's kind of preventing us from sailing, as they're like, you're not only are you costing us revenue, which, yeah, but you're also costing hundreds of thousands of people jobs at this point. and
Yeah.
it's everything else is pretty much opened up, and I think cruising with what they've put in place and what the cruise lines have put towards everything, it's very much doable, and I don't really see a reason to reject the offers that they're going to be putting in place.
Yeah, and if they do, then we all know at this point, if the CDC rejects it, that it's just the CDC being scummy,
Right, and that's
because
exactly like my
there's not much
thoughts.
more the cruise. Yeah, the cruise lines can't do much more than what they've already done.
Right,
And seeing the theme parks reopen, bars and restaurants reopen. Florida just went into phase 3 of reopening.
right.
I don't see
Like
why the
Disney
cruise lines
can
can't reopen.
operate at full capacity now, so you know.
And I was just there, and it was busy.
I really
Obviously, not as busy as it's been, but
Right. I don't know if that was like the greatest idea for them to do. I mean, I still think that's kind of a lot of people given the situation, but like if they're
yeah.
allowed to do
I mean,
that,
I
then
don't think they will though. Although the governor said they could, I still think
right.
Disney's going to be cautious with
Right.
it.
And I think everybody's going to be
It's
cautious
just
with
nice
it.
to know. Right. I think it's just nice to know that they have the option to, if they needed to. Not that they really need to, but
Right. All right. Looks like we got a few people in the chat here. We got Cruise Pulses here. We've got Alk61695 said, "What's up?" Um, Troy says, "Do we think that cruising will be up and running by this time next year?" Yeah, this time next year is
yes.
a. I am extremely confident in the fact that in cruising being here this time next year. I honestly think it might be
Yeah.
up within the next few months. I'm a little.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm very optimistic, and I'm kind of hopeful for a November startup, but I think I'm fairly confident in a December January startup.
yeah. And I mean, unless there is like a major spike in the winter months, which we're getting ready to go
Right.
into, and this virus gets worse, or it goes to the levels that it was at back in March, then I can see them not resuming cruises, or stopping them once again. But with the pace that we're on and the numbers are going down, I there's like almost 100% chance that we'll be cruising by this time
Oh yeah,
next year.
I think probably I would say I am 100% confident in like a March startup. I would say I
No,
would
yeah,
say I'm closer to 90% on like a December January startup. Like that's
yeah, I'll agree with
I
that.
think November I would probably say I'm probably 70-75% confident on a November startup. I know a lot of people that like I've been seeing are like, okay, yeah, like cruise lines are like putting all this forward, but they still got to put crew on ships, and people need to be like contracted
Right.
back on the ships. Things need to be put in place, and that's really true. But I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than a lot of people know, and I think we kind of
Hmm.
know that a little bit. We've already kind of talked and like know that there's crew starting to make its way back onto ships, or at least being told, "Hey, get ready." You know,
Yeah, for sure.
um, but I think the cruise line. I think actually in the interview with Frank Del Rio and the Royal Caribbean CEO, they were both like, we can be ready in 30 days, and again, that
Yeah,
kind of tells you that stuff is going on behind the scenes that not everybody is seeing right now, and
yeah,
that's very true. I think if they're saying that they can be out and sailing ships by 30 days from now, there's stuff going on. They're more than likely putting things in place. They've got crew getting on ships, at least pretty soon.
yeah. Don't think that the cruise lines aren't doing anything until the CDC says to give.
Oh yeah,
They're doing a lot just in case. They're getting ready. So
right,
don't think they've just been sitting around.
right. I think they know a lot more than we do, and they've got a lot more
Hmm.
under wraps than we do. I mean, these guys can keep giant ship
For sure.
projects, cough cough, the Icon class. They can keep stuff like that under wraps for 3+ years. They can keep the fact that they're putting crew back
Yes.
on ships under wraps for a couple weeks. So
Oh yeah,
I
for sure.
wouldn't. I wouldn't be too concerned about, oh, are they going to get this done on time? I think the ball is already rolling as far as stuff
Yeah.
like that. Let's see, we got another question here. Do you think the new ships will be delayed? Some ships already have. We've got the Mardi Gras. Actually, I just saw this right before we got on today, or just a few minutes ago. Mardi Gras actually sets sail on sea trials tomorrow.
I love
I
that.
really like that. I am really excited to see the Mardi Gras start going. But yeah, Mardi Gras was
Oh
one of the
yeah.
few ships that
I
were
will definitely be
delayed.
in Canaveral.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her in Canaveral. I'd love to see her. Maybe I'll come down and see her for the first time when she gets there. What else we got? We have
I did.
Odyssey has been delayed a little bit. That was for a few other reasons besides COVID, but definitely delayed several months. I think she's now going to debut in April.
Hmm. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale for that as well because I really have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I've got a lot of vacation time that I'm wasting now, kind of. So because I can't cruise, so I've just
And
got a
I'm
lot of
unemployed,
vacation time
so
accumulating right now.
yeah. And I'm unemployed, so I basically have vacation days every day.
Right, right.
uh, whew,
But
it
so
sucks.
yeah, Mardi Gras and Odyssey are delayed. Wonder of the Seas has been delayed. That was I did do a video about that recently about her float out and that she was delayed. Still going to China. I still get those questions a lot. Wonder of the Seas is still going to China, but I think they said she's going to debut probably spring or summer of 2022. Let's see. Someone on Instagram has the recent updates on Mardi Gras. Oh yeah, have you seen those pictures of the Grand Central atrium kind of area?
I I I did. It looks
That looks
so
really
good.
cool.
I'm glad that they finally are making a new ship that has a.
Mega ships.
I mean, I guess each class of ship has like a different layout, but they're all pretty much the same
Right.
concept.
Well, like
You
I
know?
think these are besides. I mean, the Vista class was technically um, like a new
Yeah,
concept because everything from I believe it was the fantasy all the way up to the magic was designed by Joe Farkas. The same guy designed
yeah.
every single
So
class of ships pretty much for Carnival between that
yeah.
point. So
So I'm glad to see it's a
yeah,
much different
which
design than what they've done in the
the guy
past.
designed some really incredible ships, but he definitely seems like a cookie cutter design over time. Even the Dream
Oh
class
yeah,
kind
for
of
sure. It's just a
looks like it feels on the inside like an extended version of a Conquest class on the inside
that, that's
because
exactly
it
what
still
it is.
has that
It's just
casino
like
to
you
the
said
side
on
and you
a
got the long promenade on what is it, the starboard, yeah, the
yeah
starboard side of the ship.
starboard side.
But,
And even the Vista class has that. It's just the atrium that has the different design.
right, well, right on the Vista class the atrium is actually put on deck 4, and then they've got all the restaurants and stuff through the middle of deck 5. Like
Right.
they made very subtle changes because again the Vista class is very subtle changes to a Dream class ship to begin with,
Yeah.
but you can tell somebody else designed that ship for the most part, at least on the interior.
Hmm.
But Mardi Gras is going to be, I think Mardi Gras is going to bring in like a new era for Carnival and like Carnival ships.
I hope
They've
so.
gone from
I
the
really hope
very,
so.
not small because the Vista class ships are very big. They're not
Oh yeah.
Oasis class big, but they're very big ships. But
Not many ships are.
right,
Oasis class is
again, yeah, nothing
unbelievable.
really rivals the Oasis class at this point. But you have like you have the Vista class, which are really large ships, but you're taking such a large leap in size of a ship. I mean, there's a 50,000 ton difference between Panorama and Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Between
That's
again two ships built pretty much right like next to each other as far as like timeline. There's a 50,000 ton difference,
yeah.
and
It's
from
good to see that they're changing it up though, you
right,
know.
and the pictures alone will show you pretty much that this is going to be nothing like we've ever seen before from Carnival.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, It's gonna be a really great ship. Uh,
I'm super
yeah, for
excited.
sure. I definitely want to go on it. I think my grandparents actually. So I was originally booked for Thanksgiving this year. My grandparents are gonna come with us, and then they actually said I think they rebooked for March. I think it was either March or May. They got like a casino rate on it. They had like stupid cheap deal, which
Hmm.
is really cool. But
My parents keep getting those letters to do the casino cruise, so
yeah,
we'll
I had
see.
a friend that did Liberty back in I think it was February, and she's like, I paid like $50 to go on this thing. She went on the Liberty for like $50.
Well, we basically went on for that price too.
Right.
A
A
little
little more
more,
than that,
but
actually. Yeah, that's a lot more than what we paid, or a lot less than what we paid.
all right. Well, it was either that
I would
or
not
full
go.
price.
Well, yeah,
We definitely don't like full
full
price.
price is not a thing. Um,
Thank you, Port of Tampa. Appreciate it.
right. Can't do that anymore though.
Bruh, I know.
Cruise
What am I
Pulse
gonna do with my
asks.
life? I did it every 6 weeks. What
I
am I
know,
gonna do
right? I
now?
don't know how we're gonna do the ship tours. How did your thing just like resized itself? Hold on. But while I'm doing that, Cruise Pulse asked when the Mardi Gras will set sail. That will be the Mardi Gras sets sail into February 6th is the maiden voyage for Mardi Gras. Even though Mardi Gras was technically supposed to set sail earlier. Actually, I guess like late August was the original sail date for Mardi Gras, but now she's set for February 6th when Mardi Gras sail.
Yeah, and they had sailings canceled prior to the pandemic.
Right.
So she was delayed until like November, right? Like right before you were supposed
Right.
to
I
go
was
on.
gonna my Thanksgiving cruise was gonna be the second sailing,
Yeah.
so
So
I was really
they've
excited
had a
about
lot of
that
delays
because I
with
was
that
gonna
ship.
be like one of the first few that have like the footage of the roller coaster and all that.
Yeah. Love that.
Let's see. Why does it keep doing that?
Oh man, I'm tired.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure why it keeps resizing your stuff.
Because I'm a big guy. What can I say?
See, Alex61695 says, I like the Dream Class because I like the glass elevator atrium over the electronic funnel that they've got on the Vista class. Yeah. I kind of missed the glass elevator on the on Horizon and Vista as well. It's just like
Yeah. When I toured
yeah,
when I toured Vista, it really I knew what the lobby was too. But when I went on to tour, it
right.
really threw me off. I was a little
Right.
confused.
It's kind of just like a weird thing knowing because every carnival ship, even the fantasy class, the spirit class, they've all got the big towering glass elevators,
Yeah.
that span like 10, 12 decks. So going on, it
Yeah.
feels a little more closed in on those Vista class ships a little bit. Because like you literally have
Oh
the
yeah,
roof
for
like
sure.
right above you, which you're used to having that huge
Yeah, it's
open
only
air
like
type of thing.
two or three. Right. It's only like two or three
Right.
decks, and that's it.
The little LED column that they have is really cool, but I do miss the glass
Oh yeah.
elevator aspect of that. I don't know if the Mardi Gras will have that. I don't
I
know.
didn't realize they. I don't know
It'll be
either.
interesting to see though.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Which cruise line is better, Oasis or Carnival? So Oasis is with Royal Caribbean. So what do you think, Royal or Carnival?
I'm gonna go with Royal. I feel like that's such a basic answer,
Right,
but their ships are incredible, especially the newer ones. They're nothing even
right.
comes close, in
It's
my
like
opinion.
Royal Caribbean's just so
They're crazy.
advanced and so their ships are just so above everything else, kind of in a way, than anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't get me don't get me wrong though.
oh,
I
I do
love
too.
Carnival. Like I've got a very soft spot for them. I
Right,
worked for them, kind of, and then I worked for them in
right,
the port. So I love Carnival. Their ships are awesome, but between the two, I definitely Royal Caribbean
right.
takes
Like
the cake.
I've been on Carnival 23 times out of my 35 cruises, and I still prefer Carnival, but I also really love Royal Caribbean just for what they do and just kind of how advanced they are and how much pride they take in, like, we have the largest ship in the world. Okay, well, we
Yeah.
can't really top that because we made the Oasis class a little too big, honestly. So what we'll
Yeah,
do
a little
instead of
bit.
that,
Yeah.
instead of one-upping ourselves, we're going to make the most technologically advanced ships in the world, the Quantum class.
Yeah.
And so that just kind of like,
Yeah.
ever since they even announced the Icon project, like, it's kind of like put in my head, like, how are they even going to top either one of those? Because they're still one-upping themselves on the Oasis class
Yeah.
with more Oasis class. But then
It's
you've got the Quantum
it's
class too.
crazy. When they built Allure, yeah, when they built Allure, I thought those were going to be the only two
Right,
because
they
they
were
were so
supposed to.
large and like so unique. So when they built, yeah, when they announced they were going to have four more,
Right,
it
and
was
then
crazy. And when I first started, yeah, when I first started getting into cruising, like the way I am now, um, it was when Oasis came out, but it really became like my thing the following year when Allure came out. I was going on a bar mitzvah
mhm,
cruise on Navigator. That was my
right,
first
yeah.
time on Navigator, and Allure came in
Oh,
that
no
morning,
way.
the day we left, like on like that, like the morning
Mhm.
arrival that they did. But we would have seen it. We would have been on the ship and watching it.
Dang.
But whoever was in charge of the 23 passports left them at the house. We were halfway to Fort Lauderdale and they left them
That
at the house. So
sucks.
we had a double decker bus, and she comes up the stairs and goes, "Do any of you have the
No, no.
passports?" And we're like 13 years old. We're like, "No, we don't
It's
have the
like, please just leave me
passports."
at the
She's like,
port.
"Oh, okay." And I go, "Oh my
Leave me at the
god."
port. I'll
So I
see you
missed the
guys in a
lore
little
coming in,
bit.
but we did get to see her that day. Bro, we were literally
That's
halfway there.
funny.
And then when we got to the terminal, she was sailing. Navigator was out of she was out of
Okay, that
25 at
little
the
cutout
time.
on the side, like right at
Um,
the outermost part of the port. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was like 25, and then the Miracle was at 21, and then Allure was at 18, and the power went out in
Oh
the
wow.
terminal. So the rabbi had already checked in, and he was on the other side, and we couldn't get checked in because
Mhm.
the power was out. It was a
That's crazy.
nightmare. It was a total
That's
nightmare that
really
day.
funny. The Miracle was in Fort Lauderdale.
So
That's
I
how
missed
long
the
ago
Allure
that
coming
was.
in. November 11th, 2010, if for
That's
any of you that
funny.
are wondering. That's when we went. Yes, it was
Let's
crazy.
see what other questions we got here.
And Navigator docked at 21 when we came back, which is nuts to
Yeah.
think about.
Let's see what other
So
questions we got.
there you go.
Yeah. I wish Pinnacle. Let's see. Yeah, I wish the Pinnacle idea was actually going to be a thing in the near future. I loved that
Yeah,
Pinnacle
me too.
idea from Carnival. I loved that ship so much. That was one of the ships that got me into cruising, and it wasn't even a real thing.
Hmm.
Like, but I think my favorite part about that design and that project is that you see that project in almost all of their ships. Like,
Oh
no matter
yeah,
what it is, you see that and all, like, in some of the new designs. Like, Skyride to an extent is like a modern day version or like a dumbed down version of that monorail system that was going to be on the Pinnacle class. I mean, the
yeah,
Vista class just isn't really big enough
yeah,
for something like that. So I think from a practicality
yeah. And the
standpoint, it would
promenade
be
that the Pinnacle had is a scaled down
right,
version on the Dream
right.
class. So I when they announced the Carnival Dream back in whatever it was,
I
2008,
remember that. Yeah,
whenever they announced it, I thought that's what the Pinnacle
right.
was going to be. So because I wasn't really keeping up with it at the time. So the next time I heard about it was when she was coming across
Right.
to New York, and I go, that doesn't look like that ship. And then
Yeah.
I read into it. I was like, ah, okay, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, they went really far along with that project though. I think it literally came down to like they were about to order the ships and like place the orders and everything, and then the value of the euro, it went I think it went down to where the ship project got
Way
extremely
down.
expensive to where it was like, all right, well, we can't really justify paying well over
Yeah,
$1 billion for a ship. Which, nowadays $1 billion is like
yeah,
the
that's
average cost of a new ship. But, back in 2002,
yeah, which
2003,
is
that was
nuts.
unheard of.
Yeah, That's why Royal Caribbean built the Freedom class, because the
Right.
economy was bad.
And then right after that, they built the
Because they wanted to
Oasis.
build the Oasis class back then. Yeah, so they basically took Voyager. I'm sure you guys know they basically took Voyager
Mhm.
class and extended it because they knew the concept worked, and they knew once the economy got better, they were going to build the
Right, and
Oasis class. So that's
that's
how we got the
exactly
Freedom
what they
class.
did with the Conquest class. Is I think actually the Conquest class
Yeah.
was originally a stretched version of the Triumph and Destiny class, anyways. But I think
hmm Yeah, literally with like an
right,
extra
and I think
deck.
with the original orders, it was going to be just the Conquest and the Glory, and that was it. But I think once that project fell through, they're like, all right, let's order Valor, Liberty, and Freedom.
Yeah,
So they ended up ordering more Conquest class. But another really right,
which
I
I'm okay
love
with.
again like
Yeah,
our cruise on the Liberty. I think Liberty was one of my favorite ships. I don't know why. It's an older Conquest class ship, but it's
something.
just something about
Yeah.
that ship was just extremely nice, and I loved that ship so much.
Oh yeah, definitely the
Oh, it was
atrium with
such a
the
pretty atrium.
I don't even know what it was, like that black, like the black steel shapes with
Right.
all the lights in
It
it.
was always
I
shifting
liked it.
colors. It was really cool. I really loved that ship. But
Yeah, and it extended. Hi, Bubs. And it extended down the promenade towards like the dining room,
right,
which was nice.
it was a really pretty ship. So I'd like to actually do the Freedom whenever she gets to Fort Lauderdale next year. That'd be really cool to do.
Me too.
Um, but yeah, actually, the really cool thing I never noticed this until there was like a big documentary about it. But I didn't know that the Spirit class funnel, that glass piece, that was actually taken from the Pinnacle project. They were gonna have that original,
Yeah.
I guess, the glass atrium, the glass funnel was gonna be on the Pinnacle project, and then that fell through.
hmm
But they still went through and did that on the Spirit class.
Yeah, I
Right.
like that idea, especially because they have the
Right.
restaurant in
Exactly.
there. So it's kind of like a nice change up from normal
Right. So
restaurants, I
it's really
guess.
cool that they actually keep that project alive by doing little things here and there on new ships.
Yeah.
Let's see what other questions we got. Vista class kind of looks like the lobby of a breakaway class ship. Yeah, I see that. Like kind of just the way it's kind of cut off right at the top
Yeah.
level there. Uh, what do you actually? This is a really cool question. I really like this one. Lucas says, "What do you think the icon class will look like?" And I think we're a little off topic here. We're supposed to be talking about the future of cruising within the next few months, but we're talking about future cruise ships a little bit.
Yeah, but
But we'll get back to our actual topic here in a minute. Just answering some questions. But yeah, I like that question. I mean, what do you think
I
Royal could do that they haven't done yet? I
I
mean,
have no idea.
North Star was like the
Um,
craziest thing to me. They put robot bartenders. They've got a
yeah.
skydiving simulator, the little wind tunnel. Like
Yeah, which
they've
is
got
also
bumper cars on the
crazy.
thing. It's just it's crazy
Love
what
that.
they've done. I don't really know how they could top that.
I'm sure they
Right.
will. I'm sure they've got designs coming. And that's the thing. When they design a new ship, they come up with so many
Oh yeah,
different
for sure.
designs that so it could be Levy too. It could be anything. And it could be a concept that they came up with
Right.
5, 6 years
I mean, I
ago,
guess it was ordered
and
5, 6
they
years ago.
tweaked it here, tweaked it there. So
I guess maybe yeah, about four
that's
or
true.
5 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 16.
Yeah. So I don't
It's gonna be
know,
two
to be
hundred
honest
thousand
with you.
tons.
Do we know the size of it?
200.
How much? You froze out.
But they've
Okay. So you got a little bit
I
of room
think
to work with.
they're building a Meyer Turku, I believe, which is where the Mardi Gras is being built. And
Okay, yeah, and that's where the
right, and
Oasis class and
there's been like pictures
Freedom
leaked. It's
class.
like,
So
oh yeah, Royal Caribbean ship in 2020, I think it's 2022. 250,000 tons, and it's like everybody like saw that and it like blew up. They're like, hold on, is this gonna be bigger? And I don't
yeah,
particularly know if it's
that
gonna be any bigger. I think Royal actually just said recently, like this is a couple weeks ago when that 250,000 ton picture came out like months ago, and they said it's gonna be 200,000. So I think it's going to be closer to 200.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, even the Oasis class, they weren't planning on it being the largest in the world. They just had so many
Right. So they
ideas
just
that
did
they
it.
wanted to do that it kind of just ended
Right.
up being like that. Yeah, like I don't think they went in there saying, "Let's build the largest cruise ship." Like it
It
just
always
kind of
just kind of
happened.
happens with them. Oh man, we
Yeah,
built another
it's fine
one.
with
We
me.
broke our own record.
Uh, number six. What
Right.
what 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 happened?
And I think, I mean, originally they were like, okay, well, I think we built the Oasis class a little too big. That's for like the longest time. I think even in like 2012, they're
Mm,
like, yeah, we're not building anything bigger than that. But then just a little bit later, they were like, okay,
yeah,
well, let's build a couple more Oasis class. And then we got Harmony, Symphony, now Wonder.
crazy.
There's going to be 6 Oasis class ships. That's insane.
Yeah, seeing three of them together when Harmony
Yeah,
joined Oasis and Allure off the
that was cool.
coast back in 2016 was probably one
Yeah.
of the coolest things I've ever seen. But I know they plan on doing it with five or
Right.
six of them, something like that.
I
They're
think
planning
they
something with
actually
all of
they're
them.
like, oh yeah, we
So
confirm that there's going to be a meetup with Oasis 5, and then it went to China. I
and then it
think,
went to China.
but I said this in my last live stream. I made the one before that. I was like, the day they ordered Oasis, or the day they decided to send Wonder of the Seas to China, was the day they ordered Oasis 6. Flat out. That's not even like me
Oh yeah,
speculating or anything. I can 100% put money on that. That's what happened. They want 5 here in the U.S., but they
yeah,
also wanted one over in China because the opportunity is there for them
yeah,
and the demand is there.
yeah. I just
And now they're
China,
taking all their
China,
ships. They got
China.
Spectrum too.
Words I can't say.
um,
I got to be careful with that. We're live. We're live.
um, but I think on Icon I could probably see the split concept or the split structure coming back again in that class. That'd be really cool. Maybe
That'd
like,
be awesome.
I don't know, and maybe even like morph that into like a quantum class sort of design almost. That'd be really cool.
I like that.
Again, I'm really excited to see that. I think we'll get renders of that soon. I am really, really
I
hopeful
would
for it. I
assume
mean,
so.
we've got pretty much everybody else's. I mean, we're getting Project Leonardo news soon. I again putting money on that. We're gonna get Project
Yep.
Leonardo soon, within a few weeks. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, I mean, Project Leonardo comes out in 2022. We've known what that ship's gonna look like forever now. We're gonna get more news on it soon, but we still don't know what the icon's gonna look like. So the I think they're gonna release that soon, for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for
be
sure.
ready.
I would be ready at any moment. I think, especially now that cruising is starting to come back up. I think, had there not been shutdowns, we'd already know what the icon looks like. I think, and
Oh,
that's
for
probably
sure.
why the itineraries for Wonder of the Seas have been pushed off. Wonder is not even open up for bookings yet.
Yeah. So they'll probably wait until they do that and then probably do it
Right. I,
soon after.
there'll probably be
Or
a
maybe
pretty big
before.
announcement. They're like, oh
I don't
yeah, well,
really
this
know.
is what it's going to look like. This is also, we're going to have the Wonder of the Seas from Shanghai, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they might do it in the same
Right.
announcement. Just make one big
Right,
event
exactly.
for it and release all the information.
Right.
So we shall see.
Exactly.
We'll be waiting.
It'll be really cool. It's going to be something mind blowing and jaw dropping. I can guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Alk 61695 said sailed in Miracle out of New York once. Returned to New York a day early because of a hurricane. Have you ever been caught in a hurricane?
I love hurricanes.
Yeah,
Have I?
Mr. Hurricane Man.
Kind of. So yes. So in 2004, in, in 2004, we were on the Triumph and we got home the day before Charlie hit. I mean, it hit on the West Coast,
2004.
but
That was a good
still, we were
year.
coming. Whatever. We got home. We got home. Yeah, we got home the day before Charlie hit, And then in 2012, when I was on the Destiny, it was before the season started. It was like it
Oh,
was
okay.
Memorial Weekend, so the end of May, and we were cruising back to Miami from Cozumel, and it wasn't really a storm. It was a
Developing.
storm, but I don't think it was named. It was like a tropical depression or something. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was in the process of developing, and we caught like the tail end of it. And we only had interior window cabins because we were with my whole like my cousins, my
Right.
grandparents. It was a big family cruise. And you ever see those videos where the
Yeah, that's
cabin
pretty
window goes
cool.
under the water on the big waves? That's what was happening
Oh,
with us,
wow.
but that was at night. And I had 103 fever. I got extremely sick,
You'd
so
be
I
kicked off a ship
was in
nowadays.
bed, and that didn't help. Exactly. So that was that, and my brother was freaking out.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough, but I don't think we've ever been
Yeah.
stuck in like a big
My
hurricane
my
like
first
that.
cruise on the Century, again, I was like 2 years old for this, so I really don't remember it. But from what I've been told, we were chased pretty much all the way back from Cozumel to Fort Lauderdale in the Century by a hurricane. And then,
Hmm. It's
yeah,
crazy. I love hurricanes. We didn't
Thanksgiving
get hit this year.
on the Legend. Of course, it wasn't a hurricane; it's not hurricane season. But like, we got a pretty nasty storm on
Well,
our day coming into Tampa. So
I love
that
Tampa.
was really cool. It was an interesting night because like, I mean, it's a pretty rough storm when like there's crew that are getting seasick and like crew are actually like falling over because
Oh yeah,
most of the time a big storm and that like
yeah,
like whoa, there's like nothing to them. But when a storm is like knocking over crew members, it's pretty rough. Like you could feel the ship coming up
yeah.
and
And I
like
mean, if you
you could
watched,
feel the bow smacking the water. That's how rough it was.
we had that we had that on the escape. We were before we were moved to our balcony cabins. We had like random interior ones at the
Hmm.
front, and it was just wasn't a story. It was just rough seas when we left Miami, and you could feel the bow hitting
Yeah,
the
it's pretty crazy.
hitting the waves. But if you saw the last day of my adventure cruise, like it was really stormy out. It it really looked like it was rough and the ship was rolling a lot, but it really didn't feel that bad, which is crazy because if some of the clips, like you can really see the ship like
Yeah,
pitching up and down like that, but it didn't
yeah.
feel like that.
I remember
So thank you,
it
stabilize.
wasn't even a bad storm. I don't even know what it was. I guess like it was a storm that came through. It didn't seem that bad, but I guess it was my second time on the Victory. We were coming out of Miami, and like we were pitched. Like the ship had rolled to the point where like you could actually see it looking like this in the hallways. I was like, whoa. Like you could
That's
see the
crazy.
tilt just in the like walking through the hallway and like you were kind of like walking like this. It was really weird. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're not like
Yes.
in a bad
Yes.
storm, but it was just kind of strange. I was like,
Right.
huh, okay.
There it
Let's see
is.
what other questions we got here. I, Tyler thinks Oasis class will be the biggest
I
in the
got eight. I
industry
got
for
eight.
10 plus
I got 8
years
minutes left.
as Norwegian and Carnival have their hands full with their new ship and new classes of ships. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's going to challenge Royal
Maybe.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
Even Carnival.
Just to see, it's not even the yeah, it's not even the length of the ship. Like, yeah, the ship is long, like it's the longest ship, but like it's
Tonnage,
everything, man. The ship
length,
is long, it's
width. I
wide,
mean,
it's yeah, everything about it. It's just so big. Like if you look at it like from the back, like looking
right.
towards the aqua theater,
It's
it's
huge.
it's
And
insane.
like I think the the XL class and Mardi Gras, the celebration, are Carnival's direct competition with them, but it's not. They're not
Oh
going to
yeah,
compete
for
in
sure.
size. They're going to compete with the ships itself.
Other things. Yeah.
Um,
I got 7 minutes
yeah,
left.
to
My
hook it up to a
battery's gonna
charger.
die.
Yeah,
Will it
mine's charging right
charge
now.
if all right.
But anyways, let's get back into like our
I
actual
will be
topic for
right back.
today, or while you're checking on that. So let's go over a few things that were announced earlier this week by cruise lines. Again, of course, we all know that there's a huge announcement and they've submitted their return to service protocols to the CDC. So what is going to happen? This is directly from Royal Caribbean blog, which is pretty much. Are they an official source or like official blog for Royal Caribbean? But they basically report. Yeah, are they like the official
Caribbean blog? I don't
Right. I
think he's
mean,
official.
he
I mean, I
works
met him at
almost
the
hand in
port. He's a
hand,
nice guy.
regardless.
So Matt, if you're watching, yeah.
No,
I mean, he doesn't give false
it's
information.
directly
All the
from like
information he
execs.
gives is like from like Royal Caribbean announcements.
But anyways, so right,
So if he
if
posts
it's coming
something, I
from him,
believe it.
it's credible. There's like there's a very select few where there's a handful of influencers and I guess bloggers, vloggers, whoever may be, cruise influencers that are like very reputable and like very, anything they say you can trust them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's charging.
So, anyways, crew's gonna be tested.
She's charging
between 5 days and 24 hours prior to leaving their home to join the ship. It's really cool. They're gonna get a test when they get on the ship, and it must be negative. That's gonna be pretty much the same thing for guests coming on board as well, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Get ready to be tested.
So if you want to cruise, get ready to get something stuck up your nose.
Given, at least for now. Let's see. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of social distancing guidelines. There's going to be, spaced out venues.
Good.
You're not going to be able to sit next to somebody in like one of the theaters, stuff like that. If it's anything like
love that
MSC and Costa, you're going to be able to walk outside on the open decks without a mask on, which is good. The open decks, open air, it's really not as high of a risk as you would be inside. So, I really like that. If you want to take your mask off, hang out outside. That's kind of the point of going on cruises, hanging out outside and enjoying a cruise. But inside, there's going to be social distancing in bars, lounges, all the restaurants. Of course, you can take your mask off in the restaurants, and you can take your mask off at a bar. Obviously, you can't really eat with a mask on. But
that's a good point.
So people will get tested before coming on the ship. You're gonna have to wear a mask, at least for the time being. Not a lot of people are pretty upset about that, and it stinks. It stinks wearing a mask. It's not fun.
Whatever.
It's definitely not enjoyable, but. If that's what gets us to cruise, that's what gets us to cruise.
Unfortunately,
and that's something I'm willing to do.
Unfortunately, it's just the world we live in right now.
I mean,
yeah.
Plus, I mean, even if they had them in like the gift shops or like, if it was like the platinum gift for Carnival platinum guests or something like that, they could hand out little masks with like the little Carnival funnel or the crown and anchor or something like that. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would.
That'd be so cool.
I would definitely buy it. I'd buy like 5.
It's a mask. But it'd be cool.
Basically, if Royal Caribbean or anyone from Norwegian or Carnival are listening, if you basically put a logo of your cruise line or a name of the ship on anything, I'll buy it. So if you're looking to make money,
I mean, all they have to do is make
I will spend all my money.
Porcelain figure of a ship, and we'll buy it for whatever price.
They can literally make a white water bottle just like a water bottle that's white. I have write Royal Caribbean on it. I'll buy it.
That sits on my desk. I've never used the coffee mug, but it's of the Liberty, and I've never used it. It sits on my desk. I throw pens in it.
Yeah, I've got like 3, and I don't use them.
It's something I'm not ever going to use actually because I don't drink coffee. But
yeah, I've got like 6 shot glasses. I'm not going to say I don't use them, but
I've got some that I don't use. It's a Jubilee and a Carnival Destiny shot glass. That was like, I found those in my grandparents were having like a yard sale whenever they were about to move to Florida, and I was like, oh, these are that's the Jubilee, that's the Destiny, and I slipped them in my pocket. I was like, hey,
I'll take that.
See you tomorrow. But those are really cool. I'll have to bring those in sometime. And those of you ship model lovers, I have a new ship model coming in soon. It's gonna be really cool. It's nothing like big or fancy or anything like that, but like it's kind of a special part to my fleet since I'm really close to having like all the Carnival ships. But Justin knows what it is, and it's
I already
really cool.
have it.
I'll show you. I'll show in the next live stream maybe, or maybe I'll do like an update video or something like that.
If you go on Shop Disney, they have all 4 ornaments on there. If you didn't know,
Yeah, I've got
or if you don't,
I've got 3. I don't have the dream yet. For some reason, I just haven't gone and bought the dream yet.
well, it's on there, and I bought 3 of them the other day. So
3 dreams?
I bought. No. I only
okay.
had the dream, so I bought Magic Wonder and Fantasy.
Okay, yeah, I've got Magic Wonder and
I spent
Fantasy.
like I
I
spent
don't
like
have the
$50
dream.
on it, but it was 30% off for pass holders. So
cool.
I saved like $30.
Yeah, I don't get my
God.
cast member discount or anything like that anymore, so I have to actually pay full price.
I
know.
Just go work at Disney again, please. I have nothing to
You know
do.
how terrible of an idea it is to work at Disney right now?
It's fine. Oh, I think my camera just died. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you cut out though, I think. Anyways, a few more of the things while Justin gets that fixed. So, let's see. Individuals who disclose symptoms of possible COVID or close contact with an individual that is suspected or displays a temperature of 100.4 should undergo secondary screening, and if they don't go through that, or if they don't pass that, then they will be denied boarding. So, if you're having anything close to symptoms, be very, very cautious. Hey, you're good. Okay.
And the cruise lines were doing that beforehand. Right. I worked at the Port of Tampa, and we were doing that before everything shut down. So, and we were taking temperatures the last few weeks.
Really, were you?
So, some of the stuff was, I was the one in charge of it in the morning before we did the wheelchairs. Like, but we would let them in at like 10:15 or something, and we wouldn't start boarding until 11. So when they would come in, I had to take the temperature. It was like just a little the temperature gun that they put on your
really
head.
Cool. I mean,
it was kind of fun.
It's
yeah, I mean,
that just goes to show though that the cruise lines, I mean, they're already willing to do stuff like that. They were doing stuff like that, like you just said.
Yeah.
But I went to Universal about a month or so ago, and everything that they were doing there, as far as trying to prevent everything, that's stuff that they've been doing on cruises for forever. The hand sanitizers, all that type of stuff. It's nothing new to the industry. It's the social distancing and running at lower occupancy is the only difference than what I think is going to be something that's the only new aspect of cruising, really. They're going to be a lot more strict about buffet, like washing your hands going to the buffet, which I'd honestly could care less because I'd rather them be strict with people washing their hands, stuff like that in the buffet.
Yeah, like we said, anything that they have to do to get cruising started, fine with me. Do it. It's at this point, man. I need a cruise so badly.
Again, I think if there's like if they find like they come out and say, okay, this is our startup date, and they're actually going to go through with something like that, then if there's something cheap for November, December, or whenever, and I don't have to go into class.
Oh, we're going.
I'll hold you to that though. You're not going to chicken out on me like you did the Apex.
I don't chicken out. I need to get a job. So if there's a company out there that's hiring in the Tampa area, please just hire me and give me vacation days because I need money. And I need a cruise. I need guaranteed like 2 weeks of vacation days, like right off the bat. Because I need like 4
come work with Phillips, and we'll get you 3 weeks vacation right off the bat.
I am not moving to Georgia. I don't know how you live there. There's no cruise ships there.
I don't know how you do it. You every time I want to go see one.
Oh, you love it. You love coming down to see me.
Let's see.
What is wrong with us?
Let's see. Tyler said, or actually Spaz, will water slides and pools be closed because you can't really get your mask wet? So those are actually staying open. So that's part of the whole.
Good.
You don't have to wear your mask outside. which is really beneficial. That's for MSC and Costa. I believe they're going to do that here in the U.S. as well. But if you're laying out on a
They're
lounger,
basically going to follow
just social distance yourself from somebody, but you don't really have to wear a mask outside, which is really nice. And again, I don't think it'd be really fun wearing a mask,
especially this time
going
of year.
down a slider on a in a pool.
I wore a mask on Dudley Do Right at Islands, and it got wet. I couldn't breathe. I had to change my mask. I was suffocating.
Yeah, that's a plus. If you don't want to wear your mask, hang out outside. What's the worst thing that could happen? You get a sunburn.
Simple as that. Yes. I had such a bad sunburn like last month. I went fishing and I had my shirt off. I mean, it's kind of disgusting because I'm fat, but it was like cloudy. It like rained when we first got there, and then we like went out like a mile. Yeah, and we like walked out like far away from the shore, and the sun came out, and then it was so bad. It was pink.
Tyler says on MSC
it was bad.
Was open. I think they will make you stay 6 feet apart. Yeah, that's pretty much what we just said. They'll pretty much.
Again, fine by me. I don't like standing next.
They'll pretty much. They'll let it slide if you're outside or anything like that.
What the heck?
Let's see.
I don't want this thing keeps shutting off. It's plugged in.
Oh, you're back.
Piece of junk.
Maybe it's just the connection. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps going out. Maybe.
Right.
No, my camera keeps shutting off.
Yeah.
It says it's being charged.
Also, another one of the new protocols is that if you are someone that is at increased risk of severe illness, or maybe you're more susceptible to catch it, or you just feel like you're at a higher risk, they say talk to your doctor first and speak with a health professional and see if they recommend it for you, or they say do this, or oh, you shouldn't go. But yeah, and it kind of if you don't feel safe to cruise, ask a health professional. They're gonna tell you honest information. Yeah, if you're that afraid, I mean, again, no one's forcing you to go on a cruise either. There's a lot of people that are desperate to go on a cruise, and there's also a lot of people that are, they're like, let it go back to normal. We'll wait. Right.
It's fine with us.
Let's see. There's gonna be onboard symptom tracking and monitoring. You're gonna get daily temperature checks, which is pretty much what they're doing on MSC. Did you know on MSC they're doing so they have those little bracelets. I think Royal Caribbean has done them in the past, but they're like just for room key purposes. But I think MSC was doing that as well, but they also added a feature into those bracelets now that they can track how close you are to certain people, and they can use that. If somebody were to, become infected, it could say, okay, it'll alert the people that you were within close contact to. Which, it's really neat.
That's cool.
It's crazy,
Isn't technology crazy?
But
don't track me, Royal Caribbean. I don't want you knowing what I'm doing. Just kidding. It's okay.
That's a really cool thing, though, is that
it's okay.
If something were to happen, there's technology built into what you're just wearing every day on a ship that'll tell you, hey, something's going on. This is you might want to be aware about it. And I think the biggest thing is going to be the response. God forbid it happens. I think as more and more people cruise, I'm sure it's bound to happen. But I think the true test is going to be what the response is when something happens. I mean, it's been going really good for MSC and Costa so far, and I'm really happy for them. Costa's got 2 ships running. But, if something were to happen, what do you do? And I think they've got all that kind of stuff outlined in their
We'll see.
protocols and stuff like that. But you know, that's the biggest thing, is making sure,
Yeah.
people aren't going to get locked up on a ship for over a month in their cabins like they were on the Diamond Princess, because that really sucks.
Yeah, that was bad. But that also was because we didn't really know what this thing was at the time. Like we knew it was what
Right.
it is, but we really didn't know much else. We didn't know how it
Right.
spread, how contagious it
Right.
was. So it
Nobody
was scary
knew
back
how
then.
to
I'm not gonna
prevent
lie.
it. Nobody knew what was actually what it was. And I think Carnival got a lot of lawsuits on, like, oh, you
Yeah.
really didn't handle this well. And there's like, nobody handled this well. Nobody knew what to do. I mean, the
Yeah,
thing
like,
was
what did you
two
want us to
months
do?
old, and it was rapidly spreading through an area. It's like nobody really knew what to do. So, but that's going to be the
Yeah.
biggest thing, is something happens, the response is going to be what determines whether everything is truly a success or not. Um,
Yeah.
right. Obviously,
So
I
we're hoping
really
for the
hope it doesn't
best.
happen. But as more and more ships, the more ships that are going, the more passengers that go, that again increase the risk. But also, there's going to be
Yeah.
capacity restrictions, like kind of like we discussed earlier, general distancing guidelines, signs and markers, throughout the ship saying, stand here, stand there, don't do this, don't do that.
Hmm.
Uh, terminal boarding,
Love that.
debarkation controls. Touch.
Did you see Royal Caribbean had late arrival
Really?
times on the app?
Was it
Hold
arrival times
hold
or
on.
departure times?
Arrival times. Like to get to the terminal, they had arrival like normally it's between like 11
Oh, like people
and
getting onto the
4, let's say
ships,
if
you
the
need
ship
to
leaves at
arrive
5.
later.
Now they have arrival
Oh, okay,
times.
okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when they come to the terminal to get on, they have things as late. Yeah, they have things as late as like 5 and 6 p.m. So we might
Right,
even see
and
later
I think
departure
that's going
times
to
for
be
the
a
ships.
big thing too. Is we're gonna see that happen. I think ships are gonna probably sail around 7, 8 o'clock at night now, maybe even later. Right.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks because it gets dark out, and I do cruise ship sailaways, so the videos might be changing soon if the ship
Right.
starts sailing. So we'll see.
Um, yeah, it says touchless check-ins, a speedier boarding process to reduce contact, potential congestion in the terminal. A lot of terminals are pretty efficient to begin with. You don't really do a lot of standing around these days, especially like Terminal A in Port of Miami.
Hmm. Yeah, even like,
It's crazy how fast
oh
they
my
could
god,
load
that's
up a six
it's
thousand
crazy.
passenger ship within a couple hours. Pulled 6,000 people off a ship, 6,000 more
Yeah,
on, and
if they
bam,
really
we're done.
put it,
Out by 4 o'clock.
yeah, I mean, put it this way: if they really wanted to, if Royal Caribbean like before everything happened, if they really wanted to, they can
Probably four
clear the
hours.
ship and fill that
Mm-hmm.
ship within 4 hours and have it sail by like 2 o'clock if they really wanted to.
Right. It's
That's
insane
how
how efficient that
efficient the
terminal
terminal
is.
is.
We also have the sanitation measures, hand hygiene, ventilation, HVAC controls. They're going to be putting in like special filters that are going to be, I guess, further purifying the air that circulates through the ship, which is, again, a good thing. They're not going to be spreading around, stuff like that.
Yeah. Regardless, yeah, it's a good
Right.
thing
So
regardless
I
of this
think that's
virus. To be
pretty much
honest
the
with you.
gist of all of them. I like what they're putting in place. I think it's a really good idea. Hopefully it goes through again. Hopefully the CDC just doesn't pull
Yeah,
something out of nowhere and be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, that's not good enough," even though you're doing like more than everybody else.
but at the same, yeah, that's. I've got a lot to say about the CDC, but I'll
Yeah.
just I'll
Anyways,
just keep it to myself.
we'll start wrapping things up. We'll do a few more questions in the chat, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. Let's see who we've got here. Yeah, it is past my bedtime. It's almost nine
Yeah, it's past my
o'clock.
bedtime, guys.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
should have been
So
asleep two
Lucas
hours ago.
says this doesn't have to do with short-term future cruising, but when do you think NCL will put the Leonardo ships, or where do you think they'll put them since they're smaller than the breakaway class? You're gonna find that out really soon.
Well,
I'm gonna be straight up with you. You're
Miami's
gonna find out really soon.
Yeah, I
where
mean,
the
I don't
first
know
one's
for
gonna be.
sure, but
We'll get the name
Miami.
pretty soon too. That's all I'm really gonna say.
But you can, yeah, but I don't know 100%. Like I'm just guessing on my own, but you can
Oh yeah,
most likely guarantee that Miami will get one because
I
they have their
think
brand new terminal
yeah.
there, and so Miami will definitely get one. I haven't been
Miami,
told
New
that, but
York.
that's just
I think
it
Port
makes
Canaveral might
sense.
get one over the next, maybe not like a brand new one, but they'll probably
Canaveral,
get one over the next few years. They'll probably get like the first one like 3 or 4 years after it comes out,
yeah,
maybe. Oh yeah,
yeah. I wouldn't be
I'd put
surprised
money
if
on it.
Miami got the first one.
But yeah, you'll hear
So yeah,
right. They're gonna
because
put
they have
something brand
Terminal
new at
B
Terminal
and
B
C.
for
So
sure. I mean, it's kind of pointless not to put something new there besides the Encore. I know.
the princess wants to go to sleep,
um,
Brandon.
but yeah, but yeah, you're gonna hear Project Leonardo's
Sorry.
news pretty soon. Let's see. George says, "Where in Georgia
Yeah.
do I live? My his wife is from Marietta. I live in Alpharetta, so I'm like not too far from Marietta. It's pretty close. So that's really cool. I have some good friends. I think one of my roommates from Disney was actually
I
from
I am
Marietta."
a prince.
Spaz says, "What would the restrictions be in the gym?" So, from what I've seen, I think
Probably similar to
Costa
what they are in
and MSC are doing is that they're doing you don't have to wear one in the gym. You can if you want to, but I think they're taking sanitation really seriously in the gyms, which is pretty important. I know like when I go to Planet Fitness 1 day a week because I'm really lazy, so I just go 1 day a week. But
I go 0 times a
but
week.
they still make you wear a mask here on
I ride a
land.
bike
So
though. I
I
ride my
think
bike.
I think you probably
Yeah.
can wear one, but I don't know if it's necessarily required on MSC and Costas for now. Let's see.
Yeah.
Are they still allowed to smoke in casinos? Yeah, I don't think they've put in any like
Yeah.
additional restrictions on that from what I can see or from what I've seen. Let's see. We've got
Yeah.
greetings from Texas, Houston suburb. Very cool. I've got a friend that lives outside of Houston too. She's in Nacogdoches, I believe. Let's see. Spaz says, "Thanks, Brandon, Justin, for the awesome stream. Good night, everyone." And Travel with Nick. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, enjoyed the stream. All right, so yeah, we're pretty much done with the stream for tonight. That's all our questions. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the stream. Hopefully it was kind of beneficial. We got off track a lot, but we also covered a lot of the stuff that's going on in the industry and what to expect in the next few months. Hopefully we hear some news soon. So yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I'm just
But a
tired.
lot of good news coming soon. A lot of good news coming soon. I am pretty
No, I
confident
don't
about
have.
that.
Yeah.
So with that said, we'll cut it off
Yeah.
here. Thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll upload some videos throughout the week. Hopefully there's some good news soon. Actually, this was a really good point. Somebody just popped this in the chat. Did you hear that Pullmantur is going to try to restart cruising? We'll keep the subject short. We'll keep this one short. But
Bro,
yeah,
I did
Pullmantur
see
actually
that.
is trying to restart cruising. I think they're going to try to... I thought Horizon was off to the scrapyard, but it sounds like they might try to keep Horizon and keep her going. So who knows?
Oh, it'll be interesting to see.
Right. So
They've
who
got
knows?
the other two being scrapped.
I did see that they were asking people like that are cruising, like, hey, would you mind paying 10-15% more if it meant we could cruise again? So that's an interesting concept. But yeah. Anyways, so I just wanted to hit that because that was a really good point, and I forgot about that. Anyways, so now we'll cut it off. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week, 8 o'clock in next week's Sunday cruise chat. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.